All right, people. So I'm here with your Roadblock review, and yes, this was not. This was a roadblock in my life. They call it the Roadblock pay per view. I like to think of it as a roadblock in my life, and it certainly was. And it's also a roadblock to the Rumble, just like it was a roadblock to WrestleMania the last time they had it. Because they just might as well just get rid of it and just build up to the Rumble instead of having this fucking roadblock right in the middle. So let's just get into the review here. The only good shit of the night was Cesaro and Sheamus defeating the New Day. It was a good match. It was fast paced. It was a lot of good moves in here. It was 10 minutes long. Thought it could have been longer since you had a tag title change. I mean, the New Day, they weren't just any tag team champions. They were tag champs for 400 and some fucking days. So you might as well make this a long match, make it a good fucking, hard fought match, but they only made it 10 minutes. Could have made it, 15 or 20. But I mean, nonetheless, it was a good match. But like I said, I have a couple problems. Once again, you have the New Day trying to use heel tactics. Xavier Woods is getting involved all the fucking time in the fucking match. Oh, but then right after the match, they fucking, shake, the hands of Cesaro and hug him and, oh, yeah. So why are they fucking one end using heel tactics? Then at the other end, they're babyface. It's just not making any sense to me whatsoever. But thank God we do have new tag team champion, finally. I've been calling for this for a while now, something new. I'm tired of the New Day going out there every night and just fucking, dancing and saying the same old shit every fucking day for fucking years. It's been like 2 years now. It's like it's time for something new. And this would have been the perfect time to turn heel too. To fucking, attack Cesaro and Sheamus and turn heel. They had a good opportunity to do so because their current gimmick right now is garbage. It's getting boring and it's getting stale. So yeah, I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. Then we have Sami Zayn defeating Braun Strowman. So the point of the match was, Zayn has to last 10 minutes and he wins. First off, that gimmick, this match gimmick, stipulation, whatever you want to call it, did not make sense to me. And like at the end of the match, it's like, 10 minutes is up, and it's like, Sami Zayn wins. It's like, what? It's like the match just ended and Sami Zayn gets the victory. I mean, it just didn't make any sense to me how Sami Zayn won. And so this is Braun Strowman's first defeat. I mean, this is very fucking lame. I mean, they've been building this guy out for fucking months now, and he loses. This was technically a match loss, right? He loses to a fucking guy like Sami Zayn, who's nothing but a jobber. In this fashion, very anticlimactic ending to this match. Didn't even feel like a win for Sami Zayn for me. So, also you had Foley coming out there too with a towel. Like, he comes out there with a fucking towel. I mean, dumbasses in WWE. I mean, the saying is you throwing in the white flag. You wave the fucking flag and if you're surrendering, not a motherfucking towel. I mean, I haven't heard of that before. I mean, I guess the towel symbolizes, but that's a fucking dumbass thing. The general manager cannot fucking end the match by fucking tossing in a towel. I mean, get the Mick Foley out of the. First off, Mick Foley coming out disrupted the flow of the match. Not that it was going in any good direction, but it fucking interrupted the match for at least a minute. I mean, just stay out of the fucking way. Let him fucking fight. But I said the match wasn't going good, and it wasn't, because all you had is Braun Strowman hitting Sami Zayn with like clotheslines and punches. I mean, it was a pretty boring match. So I gave it fucking 0 out of 5 stars because it just was a garbage match. It was nothing good. Then we have Rollins defeating Y2J. And obviously the Zayn Strowman match was 10 minutes. So, because it lasted 10 minutes. So then you had the Rollins defeating Y2J match. It was boring. Just typical moves. I mean, I'm watching this match, and I mean, it was just basic. It was just the wrestlers doing their basic moves in here. I mean, I'm a fan of Rollins. I'm a fan of Y2J, but I cannot say they put on a good match because it was just boring. I mean, I gotta call it like it is. I mean, just because there's 2 good wrestlers in a match together doesn't always mean it's going to be a good match, and this wasn't. So it was boring. It was 17 minutes and 5 seconds long. You had Owens coming down there at the end, interfering, costing Jericho the victory. I mean, we've seen this before. We just saw it on Raw, I believe it was last week or 2 weeks ago. So, I mean, they're just recycling. They can't even come up with a new way to end the match. So, I gave it a half star out of 5. Then we get a cruiserweight triple threat match where Swan defeats Perkins and Kendrick. Again, they give this match 6 minutes and 5 seconds. On a pay-per-view show, you should be giving your fucking title match for the cruiserweight division longer than 6 minutes. So it should have been better. I give it 1.75 out of 5 stars. And I mentioned this in the tribute to the troops review too, how Perkins did an idiotic thing. In this match, he puts somebody in the leg lock or whatever the fuck that's called, his submission, and he gets to the ropes, and then like 5 seconds after he gets to the ropes, he breaks the hold. First off, the ref's not counting, and second off, it's a fucking triple threat match, so you could hold your opponent in the submission for even if he does get to the ropes. So again, that just made no sense. Like, what the fuck is he doing? I mean, is he fucking high? Does he not know what the hell's going on? I mean, it's a fucking triple threat match. Why are you letting go of the submission when he gets to the ropes? Just, what the fuck? Know the fucking rules. And even the announcers are like, hey, what the fuck is this dumbass doing? You know, letting go of the submission. So yeah, it's a short match. Should have been much longer. Should have been much better. And I gave it 1.75 out of 5 stars. They're definitely not using the cruiserweight division. They're definitely not exploiting that to the utmost ability of the cruiserweight. You know, they're not letting these wrestlers go out there and wrestle good matches. They're giving them a short amount of time to wrestle, and they're not letting them show their true talents. Then we have Charlotte defeating Sasha in the Iron Man match that was 30 minutes long. It was an alright match. I mean, just because it was long doesn't mean it was good. I mean, it was okay. It wasn't until 20 minutes in, I think, that there was like a pinfall. I mean, just watching that clock, you know, tick down from 30 seconds, it really gets into your mind like, oh, like shit, we got fucking to watch. We got to watch this for 30 minutes. You know, it's kind of like, you don't really fucking, you know, want to watch a Divas match for fucking 30 minutes. And you know it's going to be 30 minutes. You know it's not going to be over for 30 minutes. So it kind of gets into your head a little bit. So it was okay. I mean, it went into overtime. So it was 32 minutes and 55 seconds long officially. But I just felt it, you know, it was long, it was dragged out, there wasn't much action in it, you know, not enough to call it a good match. And the thing is, Charlotte wins, and they're saying, I don't get how the announcers are saying, and everybody, you know, they're saying, oh, this is going to be the last match between the two, the last chapter. Well, what if Charlotte wins like she did? So, you know, they always say that if you lose your belt, you get an automatic rematch. Well, doesn't Sasha get an automatic rematch? I mean, so that just didn't make any sense to me at all. So yeah, I gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars. Then we have Owens and Reigns ending in a disqualification. And how many times have I pointed out just illogical shit that they've been doing on this show? You know, like fucking Perkins letting go of the fucking submission hold. Now they do another thing. And it probably involves the main thing happening on this show. You have Jericho coming out there. And his whole thing is, okay, let's make a DQ so Owens can win. You know, let's make this match a disqualification. Why doesn't he fucking attack Reigns? Why does he attack his friend, you know, who he hugs after the match? Why doesn't he just give the cold breaker to Reigns? It just... What the fuck? What the fuck is he doing? Does that make any sense to anybody whatsoever? No, it doesn't. You know, it's just... I don't get the shit that they do on this fucking... It's just so... It's not even bad. It would be one thing if they try to do some good shit and it was bad. I mean, this is just totally illogical and it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So why does Y2J attack Owens instead of Reigns? I don't have a fucking clue in my mind. But the match was boring. I mean, that's what you get when you put in, you know, Roman Reigns in the main event. There was a couple table spots, frog splash through the table, triple power bomb through the table. Yeah, that's the thing, dude. You couldn't just let fucking Owens and Jericho have their moment, and you couldn't leave Roman Reigns lying there, and you couldn't have let Owens and Jericho look strong for once. I mean, how many times has Owens looked strong? I mean, they got to spend so much time building up Roman Reigns into the big superhero. Oh yeah, that in the meantime, Owens looks like a fucking paper champion pretty much. I mean, the same thing happened with Seth Rollins during his reign. He looked like a fucking paper champion, like a fucking jobber champion, because you had Reigns going all over the place, spearing him and beating him, and Rollins would look like such a weak champion. Remember that? Same thing, it's pretty much the same thing's been happening now with Reigns. I mean, he's going around beating everybody. He's on top. He's fucking winning all the fucking matches, pinning everybody, beating everybody up in the brawls. In the meantime, they can't even let Owens look strong for one fucking... They can't even let him look strong after he cheated his way to victory. They can't even let him look strong. They gotta have Rollins come out there and they gotta fucking put him through a table. It's like, come on. They can't give him one. I mean, he's a fucking champion. He should be looking strong most of the time, but it's like he's never looking strong. So that pissed me off. But I gave the match a star out of 5. It's like Jericho and Owens are back together. Great, make them look strong, make it an impactful moment. But no, we can't even remember that, because the last thing on our minds is Roman Reigns and Rollins powerbombing people through tables. I mean, again, it's always got to be Roman Reigns on top, and they're gonna pair him with Rollins. Now they're pairing him with Rollins in another effort and playing fucking 962 to try to get Roman Reigns cheers. They're going to pair him with Rollins to try to get him some more cheers now. And I wouldn't be surprised if they try to put the Shield back together sometime soon to try to get him even more cheers. So there you go. There you go, people. There's your Roadblock review. A shit show. Nothing good whatsoever, except you had a good tag match to begin the show. But and also you had on this pay-per-view an hour, 39 minutes, and 30 seconds of wrestling. That would equate to 16 minutes, 16.6 minutes per match. Is that 30? No, 35 seconds. Oh, a big 5 seconds. So, hour, 39 minutes, and 35 seconds of wrestling. Sorry, I have pretty shitty handwriting. I mean, it's pretty sad when you can't even read your own fucking handwriting, but yeah, 16.6 minutes per match. You had no matches that were 0 to 5 minutes, so I guess that's a positive thing. You had only one match that was 5 to 10 minutes, 2 that were 10 to 15, 1 that was 15 to 20, 1 that was 20 to 25, 0 that were 25 to 30, and of course the Iron Man match, which was 30 to 35. So, but nonetheless, still a shitty show, an underwhelming show, a boring show. So there you go, people. There's your Roadblock review.